mercy. As I've asked at the beginning of the Mass, I want you to think about priests that have influenced your life. The good, bad, and the ugly. I've been a priest 40 years. One of the greatest thrills, in a way, I had the other day. My first youth group, 1978, 1979. These kids who are getting older, they're in their 50s now, they had my 40th anniversary party for me. I think back when I was a young priest, we'd go to Cedar Point with the kids. We taught in the classroom, which I still like to do. Taught in RCIA, taught in PSR. Overnight canoe trips. There was a few kids in Akron. One boy, his dad was dead. So I'd take him and a couple of buddies, or at least another buddy, go to the Indians game. There are a lot of things we did as young priests we can't do today. We had teen retreats, and even those you'd probably keep your distance. The priests have influenced our life. The good memories we have, and my spiritual director reminds me to reflect on those. My pastor, when I was a kid, Father James H. O'Brien, Saints Philip and James, started CYO back in the 40s. Now, one of the things I treasure, I don't have it with me today, but I have Father O'Brien's chalice. His sister gave it to me, Sister Loretta. What I'm saying today is priests are human, for better, for worse, richer, for poorer. The interesting thing is today in the scripture, we see the word David. My nephew is named David. He's married, he has a beautiful daughter. She's about 17 now, and her brother's 14. And even with them, at times, I have to be prudent. I'll hug my beautiful niece over the shoulder, give her a little kiss on the hand. That's all. No hugs. What I'm saying today is King David, in one of the readings today, remember King David? Well, remember, he was chosen by God to replace Saul. And yet in Psalm 51, this is what David writes. Because remember, he fell in love with another woman, Bathsheba. He had a few wives. And yet he lusted after Bathsheba. Not only did he lust after her, but her husband was a soldier. And he says, why don't you go out in the front lines? Go out in the front lines. Okay, that's good. You're in front of everybody. Everybody drew back and he got killed, Uriah. Psalm 51. David wrote a lot of these psalms. I know we're going to say the miraculous medal. It's beautiful. Try something different once in a while. Read the scriptures that have to do with Mary. But listen to this. David, the king, the special one. Have mercy on me, God, in your goodness, in your abundant compassion. Blot out my offense. Wash away all my guilt, and from my sin cleanse me. For I know my offense. My sin is always before me. Against you alone have I sinned. I've done what is evil in your sight. And he begs for mercy from God. Does not Jesus tell us in Matthew 5, blessed are the merciful, they shall obtain mercy. We live in difficult times, my friends. There's another Psalm 130 that talks about pardon and mercy. Easier said than done. There was a movie I watched once or twice called 1,000 Acres. And I'm not going to go into all the detail, but at the very end, Michelle Pfeiffer dies of cancer. Her sister is Jessica Lange. The very end, before she leaves town, where her family lived, where she was hurt, she said, how do you offer forgiveness when there's no remorse? The love of mercy of God endures forever. We thank God for Jesus and the Eucharist, the scriptures. We thank God for his eternal mercy, for his love endures forever. Please stand.